And one. Shalom, Israel. We back at it again. It's Wednesday. Wednesday means history, world history according to the Bible. I'm your teacher today, Brother DARASH, and to the left of me is my reader.
Yatazarya.
Yatazarya. So we're going to go ahead and get into it because we got a lot of reading to do tonight. So tonight we're talking about Joshua, war before rest. Essentially, we're talking about the conquests of Joshua. So the first thing I want to get, let's go to Numbers. Numbers chapter 14 and verse 1.
Okay, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 14 and verse 1. And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night.
You read?
And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole congregation said unto them, would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we have died in the wilderness?
Mm-hmm.
And wherefore hath the Lord brought us unto this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt?
So, real quick backstory. So, we'd already been sent out to the land of Canaan. In the land of Canaan is the land that we're supposed to have. So, there were spies that were sent out, and they saw, damn, this is some really good land. This is nice. Then they saw the people. They said, these are some big niggas. They said, yo, we going to war with them? Joshua and Caleb, do y'all see them? Don't worry, the Lord's going to give them to our hand. To hell you mean don't worry? So they went back and they told Moses, they trying to kill us. I don't know what God had going on in his mind, but this is big. And this is a problem. So then they went back and told all of Israel, and Israel started freaking out. They murmured against Moses. Moses said, the Lord said, hey, Malachi, come get the door. Moses said, the Lord told Moses, you're good. I'm going to deliver him into your hand. Moses told the people. Then people went and actually saw who these individuals were. They said, yo, I don't know about none of that. Right? So, shalom. So, everybody's freaking out. Everybody's tripping, right? Let's read on.
Verse 4. And they said one to another, let us make a captain and let us return into Egypt.
They said, we don't care about, you know what, Moses? I really don't. You helped us exit Egypt? Y'all tripping. We going back. Let's choose somebody else over. All in favor of such and such. Say, all right, he going to lead us back to Egypt. Read.
All right. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel.
So some more stressing out. So now they're praying to the Most High. They're crying out to the Lord like, Lord, do you see what's going on? Read.
And Joshua, the son of Nun, and Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes.
Right. So they were mourning with Moses and Aaron. Read.
And they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to search it is exceedingly good land.
Right? So now they're telling the people, look, when we went and saw that land, you wouldn't believe what we saw. Read.
If the Lord delight in us,
he said, if the Lord got our back, read,
then he will bring us into this land and give it to us.
Uh-huh.
A land which floweth with milk and honey.
Read.
Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not.
So Joshua said, look, we got to trust in the Most High. You see what he did when he brought us out of Egypt. Go to Joshua chapter 4. He said, you see what happened when he brought us out of Egypt. You see how he kept us these 40 years. We about to go into the land. He said he going to be with us. If he said that, why y'all tripping? He said, if you rebel against the Most High, understand we in trouble. Don't rebel against the Most High. Have faith. He said he's going to deliver them into our hand. He said he gonna make them bread for us. He said it's going to be easy. Right? Let's read Joshua 4:14.
There's the book of Joshua, chapter 4, verse 14. On that day, the Lord magnified Joshua in the sight of all Israel.
So now Moses is no longer. Joshua is the one that's raised up in the stead of Moses. And he's the one that's going to lead Israel on this conquest to conquer the land that they're owed, right? So it said that the Lord magnified Joshua. So the Lord said, you're going to be the leader, Joshua. He's the one that chose Joshua, read.
And they feared him as they feared Moses all the days of his life.
And they respected that man, right? So let's get into the conquests. Let's go to Joshua chapter 2. And we're going to start at verse 1. We're going to read down to 8.
The book of Joshua, chapter 2, verse 1. And Joshua, the son of Nun, sent out Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into an harlot's house named Rahab and lodged there.
So now we see this is the story that a lot of people know about, the story of Rahab, the harlot, right? Read.
And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country.
So they knew that Rahab lived on the wall. She saw them. There's no way she didn't greet them. So they went to Rahab. They said, now we know some people came, and we need you to bring them to us. Read.
And the woman took the 2 men and hid them and said thus, there came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were.
She said, yeah, some men did come. Y'all right, but I don't know where they went. They left. Read.
And it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whether the men went, I wot not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them.
So she said, when it got dark, they left. I don't know which way they went. I think they went that way. If you go now, you can catch them. Read.
But she had brought them up to the roof of the house and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof.
So didn't nobody check her roof. But she said, I'm just going to, you guys hide up here. There's some people that's going to come looking for you. They're going to try to kill you. Stay here. Don't move. She said, I think they went that way. Go get them. If you go now, you can catch them.
Right.
Read.
And the men pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof.
Let's drop down to verse 18. So now we read here, Rahab's like, hey, I looked out for you guys. I heard about what was going on with the Most High and what your God did for you in Egypt and how he destroyed Pharaoh's armies. And look, I know what you guys are coming to do. I'm just asking that you spare me and my family. The spy said, okay, deal. If you save us, you make sure we don't die, we can finish what we're doing, and we get out of here safe, we got a deal. If you run your mouth, the deal is off. She said, say less. Let's make this deal. And the part of the deal was all of your family, when we come, make sure your family's in this house. If they're not in this house that has this scarlet, I think it's a scarlet ribbon or something sitting on the window, if they're not here, they get killed, they get killed. But nobody's going to touch them if they're here. So make sure they're here. She said, deal. Read. Let's drop down to verse 18. We're going to read down to 24.
Verse 18. Behold, when we come into the land, thou shalt bind this line of scarlet thread in the window which thou didst let us down by. And thou shalt bring thy father and thy mother and thy brethren and all thy father's household home unto thee.
See that? Go ahead.
And it shall be that whosoever shall go out of the doors of thy house into the street, his blood shall be upon his head.
So he said, if you guys, when we get here, if you're not in this house and you die, you get caught in the crossfire, that's too bad. We told you stay in here. Read.
And we will be guiltless. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be on our head, if any hand be upon him.
So it said, now that one we'll take the blame for. Read.
And if thou utter this our business, then we will be quit of thine oath which thou hast made us to swear.
So said, we don't have a problem with this deal, but if you say anything to anybody, the deal is off. Read.
And she said, according unto your words, so be it. And she sent them away, and they departed. And she bound the scarlet line in the window. And they went and came into the mountain, and what is that? Abode there 3 days until the pursuers were returned. And the pursuers sought them throughout all the way, but found them not. So the two men returned and descended from the mountain and passed over and came to Joshua the son of Nun and told him all things that befell them. And they said unto Joshua, truly the Lord had delivered into our hands all the land, for even all the inhabitants of the country do faint because of us.
So the spies went out after Joshua sent them, and when they went to Jericho, and they said, yeah, they're freaking out right now because they heard that we're supposed to be coming. The Most High, this is ours. This is cake, right? Let's flip over to chapter 6. So now we're journeying to this particular land. In the midst of this, we keep the Passover in the book of Joshua, chapter 5. This is our first Passover. The first Passover recorded post Moses headed out of the wilderness into the promised land that we're about to start conquering. So we've kept the Passover. We've journeyed to Jericho. We're headed to start conquering, right? So let's go to Joshua chapter 6. We're going to read verse 6 all the way down.
It's the book of Joshua, chapter 6, verse 6. And Joshua, the son of Nun, called the priests and said unto them, take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram horns before the ark of the Lord. Mm-hmm. And he said unto the people, pass on and compass the city, and let him that is armed pass on before the ark of the Lord. Mm-hmm. And it came to pass, when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of rams' horns passed on before the Lord, and blew with the trumpets. And the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them.
So now we are marching. We are headed, headed to Jericho. Read.
And the armed men went before the priests that blew with the trumpets. And the reward came after the ark, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. Uh-huh. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, ye shall not shout nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout.
Right? So now, we got here, we're standing at the wall, right? Now, Joshua's like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to, when you read verses 1 through 5, it's what was told for us to do. We're going to circle this city. We're going to walk around this mug every day. On the 7th day, we're going to walk around it more than we've walked the other days. And then we're going to do something, right? So let's read on.
Verse 11. So the ark of the Lord compassed the city, going about it once. Uh-huh. And they came into the camp and lodged into the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. Mm-hmm. And 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram horns before the ark of the Lord went on continually, and blew with the trumpets. And the armed men went before them, but the reward came after the ark of the Lord. Mm-hmm. The priests going on and blowing with the trumpets.
So now they're just talking about the lineup and how they were walking around the city. Read.
And the second day, they compassed the city once and returned into the camp. So did 6 days.
So they were to circle the whole city once every day for 6 days, right? Read.
And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times.
So today they compassed it 7 times instead of just that one, right? So it's a show of force going on. Read.
Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times.
Come on, read.
And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priests blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, shout, for the Lord hath given you the city.
So he said, all of these men, thousands of men outside of that wall, he said, shout. Have a war cry, right? Read.
And the city shall be accursed, even it and all that are therein to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent.
He said, now we slaying everything that's in here except Rahab. Read.
And ye and anywise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed when ye take of the cursed.
So he said, don't take a damn thing from here. Don't take anything from here. We are killing everyone. We are burning everything. Removing all these people are accursed. They've been moving wickedly. When Moses told us about it, it's because they were worshiping these other idols and doing all abominable things. When we come into this land that the Lord has given us, we cannot do this. We have to remove all of the evil from here. You better not take nothing. Read.
Lest ye make yourselves accursed when ye take of the accursed thing and make the camp of Israel curse and trouble it. For all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord.
So he said everything gets thrown away with the exception of the gold and the silver, all of the treasures. That gets given over to the Lord. Read.
So the people shouted when the priests blew with the trumpets. And it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city.
So I want you guys to realize what the hell just happened. It said all of these men shouted at the top of their lungs, and it was such force that it knocked down a barrier wall that was enclosing the city. Now you have to understand. Now this is what you also have to understand to give you kind of an idea. When it talked about the strength of the voice that Christ had, it said he sat on a boat way out in sea and taught hundreds and thousands of people on the seashore. You got to think that's a pretty strong damn voice to be heard that clear. Now imagine a few thousands of those. Most of y'all start screaming and get hoarse. Most of y'all start screaming and you go up like 2 or 3 octaves. You sound like a little girl. Man, you got to be like, yo, their voices essentially created an earthquake which shook the walls down. That's crazy. Read on.
Verse 21. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and ass, with the edge of the sword. But Joshua had said unto the 2 men that had spied out the country, go into the harlot's house and bring out thence the woman and all that she hath, as ye swore unto her. And the young men that were spies went in and brought out Rahab and her father and her mother and her brethren and all that she had. And they brought out all her kindred and left them without the camp of Israel. And they burnt the city with fire and all that was therein. Only the silver and the gold and the vessels of brass and of iron they put into the treasury of the house of the Lord.
Read.
And Joshua saved Rahab the harlot alive, and her father's household and all that she had. And she dwelleth in Israel even unto this day, because she hid the messengers which Joshua sent to spy out Jericho.
So we see that Rahab got saved, everything else got destroyed except the spoils. Read.
And Joshua adjured them at that time, saying, cursed be the man before the Lord that riseth up and buildeth the city of Jericho. He shall lay the foundation thereof, in his firstborn, and in his youngest son shall he set up the gates of it. So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was noised throughout all the country.
So Joshua walked in there, bust down the walls without touching it, destroyed everything. And they said, who the hell is this guy? Now, we remember the old dude that brought them out of Egypt. Heard he died. Who was this guy? He ain't too young, but this is the new kid. What's going on, right? It said that the fame of him was noised abroad. You heard about that new cat? You know, the guy that brought the tablet things down, he's dead, but his little homie came through, and he's a monster, right? Let's read chapter 7. We're going to start at verse 10. So now we get to a place. There's a man. His name is Achan. Now Achan decides, I like this Babylonian garment. This is a nice shirt. I like this shirt. I think I'm going to take this shirt. Now the Lord said, don't take anything. The only thing you need to take is the spoils, the gold, the silver, the treasures, and it's being consecrated, separated, given to the Lord. Achan said, damn, but this Louis shirt is nice. This little Fendi joint, hold on. I don't know. Like, I mean, it ain't that big of a deal. I mean, I take it. You feel me? Like, I mean, it's one shirt. I know the Most High, he ain't gonna sweat us over this one shirt. Come on. And then, look, ain't nobody even got this color blue. Like, this is different. Like, I'm just fold it on up, throw it in my satchel. Everybody gonna know. Put it at the house. I mean, technically it's not in this. We ain't even in, I'm outside the camp anyways. I'm parked over there. So I'm good. I'm gonna put it over there. So Achan decides he don't want to listen. Right? Now, we go ahead and we fight and we get smoked out there the first time. And everybody's like, yo, what just happened? We just blazed all of Jericho. And then we go to AI and we get spanked. Everybody's freaking out. Like, I guess God was playing with us. He hit us with the okie doke. Brothers got killed out here. And these cats are smaller than Jericho. What happened? Joshua and Caleb is like, yo, what's going on? They freaking out. They crying out to the Lord. Lord, what kind of sick trick is this? He said, don't sweat it. He said, stop all that crying. I already told you what it was going to be. I said if somebody took anything, then I wasn't going to be with you. So guess what happened? Somebody must have took something. You're damn right, Joshua. Go figure it out. That's what happened. Let's start at verse 10.
Book of Joshua chapter 7, verse 10. And the Lord said unto Joshua, get thee up. Wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face?
So they sitting there crying with their head, they faces down, crying to the Lord. He said, man, get up. I already told you what it's going to be. I told you I had your back, unless you didn't listen. And guess what happened? You ain't listen. Read.
Israel hath sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen.
And you stole. So remember, the Lord said you can take the treasures, but it's being given to the Lord. Watch what Achan did. This guy. Read.
And dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff.
He said, and then he stashed it in his house. Read.
Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore, except ye destroyed the accursed from among you.
He said, either you kill them, or I'm going to let everybody kill you. Figure out who it is. You know what it's supposed to be. I told them it wasn't. I told them don't take anything. Somebody decided to disobey. Somebody has to pay with their life. So you figure it out. If you don't want to figure it out, then you're going to either die in this wilderness, or you're going to continue to try to go to war, and you're going to die at their hands. Pick one. Read.
Verse 13. Up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus said the Lord, our power of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of thee, O Israel. Thou canst not stand before thine enemies until ye take away the accursed thing from among you.
Read.
In the morning, therefore, ye shall be brought according to your tribes. And it shall be that the tribe which the Lord taketh shall come according to the families thereof. And the family which the Lord shall take shall come by households. And the household which the Lord shall take shall come man by man.
So he said, now this is what we're going to do. All the tribes, y'all going to line up. We're going to pick a tribe. And out of that tribe, we're going to run through every single household. So I'm going to tell you which tribe it is. Boom, it's Judah. It's Judah? Yep. Go figure it out now. Run through all of their houses. Run through each man. Read.
And it shall be that and it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire.
He said, and this is the punishment. Read.
He in all that he hath, because he hath transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and because he hath wrought folly in Israel.
He said he broke the agreement. I told him what it was. He still decided to disobey after everything I did for him. Nah, that's a no-go. So they got to be burnt. Read.
So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken. And he brought the family of Judah, and he took the family of the Zarhites, and he brought the family of the Zarhites man by man, and Zabdi was taken. And he brought his household man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah of the tribe of Judah, was taken.
Says, so now we have Achan that we've taken out of the house of Judah, right? Read.
And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hid it not from me.
He said, don't hide it from me. So he went to Achan. He said, Achan, you know you're my boy, right? So let's go give our honor to the Most High real quick. Now, it said that you are the one that took something. You need to tell me what happened. Don't lie to me and don't hide it. This is what I need from you, Achan. The Lord told me this is what you have to do. Read.
Verse 20. And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done. When
now Achan goes, damn. Thought wasn't nobody gonna know. I put it in the house. Right. I stuck it in the satchel. Nobody looked. How did he see? Damn it. All right, Joshua. So this is what had happened. Read.
When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment.
He said, I saw this fly shirt. Listen to me, Joshua. Nobody in the camp got this joint, all right? Read.
And 200 shekels of silver.
He said, and then I found some Britned. And I was like, man, look how much we already gave to the Lord. He literally took everything from everybody else's house. I'm like, little old me ain't gonna trip off these 20 shekels. This is light work. Like, look at everything he already got. He ain't gonna trip off of this. So I saw this shirt. And this shirt was hard. Like, this, I ain't gonna say shirt. This gird was hard. Like, this joint was, man, look, it had a golden girdle. I'm telling you, this is a different color of blue that ain't nobody got. Like, you seen anybody with this? Joshua over there like, I mean, I ain't seen nobody with it, but I mean, I don't think you realize what you did. He's like, man, but look at it, bro. Come on, man, look. So that's what Achan's sitting there doing. He's like, yeah, I didn't think anybody would see. This was what I did. But you can't lie, it was fly, though. Read.
And a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight.
So I was like, yo, I mean, I didn't think that. I mean, I didn't think much of it because we hit hundreds of houses and they all had more than this. It's just a little bit. So I didn't think the Lord was going to trip. Now, remember, it says somebody stole from me and somebody touched and took of the accursed thing. That's what Achan did. Read.
Then I coveted them and took them. And behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran into the tent. And behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua and unto the children of Israel.
Read.
And laid them out before the Lord. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver and the garment and the wedge of gold, and his sons and his daughters and his oxen and his asses and his sheep and his tent and all that he had. And they brought them unto the valley of Achor.
So now, Joshua was like, you did what? He said, man, I didn't think it was a big deal. He said, hey, what's up, Joshua? Go to his tent. He said he put the garment and the silver underneath his tent in the dirt. Go grab it. Just go grab it. Khan's like, what's gonna happen? He said, we're gonna find out. So now they took everything, his tent, it's everything, and he's looking like, what's going on, Joshua? What's this? What are we doing? Now Joshua's sitting there like, why did you put us in this predicament, Akan? We didn't want to do this. Why did you do this? He told us not to. He told us, do not take anything. Now you done put me in a very difficult situation. Read.
Verse 25. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us?
Akan, why did you do this? Read.
The Lord shall trouble thee this day.
Now you got to deal with the Most High. That was just stupid, Akan. Why did you? Now look what you got to deal with. Read.
And all Israel stoned them with stones and burned them with fire. After they had stoned them with stones.
So now everybody and everything that was under Akan's name got stoned. His animals, because they were now defiled by association or by possession. And his family, both because they were defiled, and two, because, hello, it was in his tent. How big do you think a tent is? At biggest, maybe a 10 by 10. Probably like if you get a really big one, like the size of a room, maybe, right? So it's not many places you can hide this garment. It's not many places you can hide this gold. They all live in the same tent. So ain't nobody gonna say nothing. You saw your daddy take this after the Lord said don't take it. You saw your husband take this after the Lord said don't take it. You ain't gonna say nothing? Well, you're guilty by association. You're an accessory to the crime. Therefore, you reap the judgment too. Read.
Verse 26. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto his day. So the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger, wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day.
It said this place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day. Achor meaning trouble, right? So after we did this, the Lord said, now I'm pleased. I will come back with you guys and help you bust up everybody in AI. No problem. Let's read, was it chapter 7? Let's read chapter 8. We'll start at verse 1. 1 through 8.
Verse 1. And the Lord said unto Joshua, fear not, neither be thou dismayed. Take all the people of war with thee and arise. Go up to, what is this? Okay. See, I have given into thy hand the king of AI, AI and his people and his city and his land. And thou shalt do to Ai and her king as thou didst unto Jericho and her king. Only the spoil thereof and the cattle thereof shall ye take for a prey unto yourselves. Lay thee in an ambush for the city behind it. So Joshua arose and all the people of war to go up against Ai. And Joshua chose out 30,000 mighty men of valor and sent them away by night.
So now we have a war strategy. The Lord said, I got you. You done got rid of this whole situation over here. I got you now. This is what you're going to do. You take men, place them over there behind the city. I want you guys to attack, a direct attack in the front of the city. Read.
And he commanded them, saying, behold, ye shall lie in wait against the city, even behind the city. Go not very far from the city, but be ye all ready. And I and all the people that are with me will approach unto the city. And it shall come to pass when they come out against us, as at the first, that we will flee before them.
So this is the war tactic. You guys hang out behind the city. We're going to rush the city. They're going to come out to fight us, and we're going to retreat. They're going to think that because they just spanked us. They just whooped our ass 2 days ago. So when we come back, they're going to be like, oh, y'all coming back for more. Cool. And then we're going to take off running. I'm like, see, look, we did it again. And they're going to chase us all the way out because they're going to try to destroy us. And so what y'all going to do is y'all going to come from the rear side, pull up on the city and burn everything down. We finna kill all their resources. That's what we doing. Read.
And I,
Verse 5.
Verse 5, okay, Con. And I and all the people that are with me will approach unto the city, and it shall come to pass when they come out against us as at the first, that we will flee before them.
Boom. Okay, read.
For they will come out after us till we have drawn them from the city, for they will say, they flee before us as at the first, therefore we will flee before them. Then ye shall rise up from the ambush and seize upon the city, for the Lord your God will deliver it into your hand.
Read.
And it shall be when ye have taken the city, that ye shall set the city on fire, according to the commandment of the Lord shall ye do. See, I've commanded you.
So they got all of their men go out there and chase these men. Oh, they running again. And they was like, oh, wait, where these niggas come from? They don't, who's he? Everybody turned around. They said, hey, what's going on what's going on in the city? Right? Let's drop down to verse 15.
Verse 15. And Joshua and all Israel made as if they were beaten before them and fled by the way of the wilderness.
So now they're executing their plan. Read.
And all the people that were in Ai were called together to pursue after them. And they pursued after Joshua and were drawn away from the city. And there was not a man left in Ai or Bethel that they went not out after Israel. And they left the city open and pursued after Israel. And the Lord said unto Joshua, stretch out the spear that is in thy hand toward Ai, for I will give it into thine hand. And Joshua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand toward the city. And the ambush arose quickly out of their place. And they ran as soon as he stretched out his hand. And they entered into the city and took it and hastened and set the city on fire.
So the Most High said, give him the signal. And that's what he did, right? Verse 20.
Verse 20. And when the men of Ai looked behind them, they saw, and behold, the smoke of the city ascended up to heaven.
So everybody out there like, going to war, right? And then somebody was running and they just happened to look back like, hey! Everybody stop in the middle of the fight. What's going on? What happened? And everybody started looking around like, yo, who did this? Read.
And they had no power to flee this way or that way. And the people that fled to the wilderness turned back upon the pursuers.
So they had nowhere to go. You couldn't run back to your city. You couldn't be what is it called? Be refortified running into your cities because somebody just destroyed your city. You got the other people sitting in front of you. You got people sitting behind you. Where you gonna go? So they essentially trapped them. Read.
And when Joshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city and that the smoke of the city ascended, then they turned again and slew the men of Ai. And the other issued out of the city against them. So they were in the midst of Israel, some on this side, some on that side, and they smote them so that they let none of them remain or escape.
So they got toasted. Israel was behind them. Israel was in front of them. They said, go ahead, pick where you going? Where you think you going to go? And they got destroyed. Read.
Verse 23. And the king of Ai they took alive and brought him to Joshua. And it came to pass, when Israel had made an end of slaying all the inhabitants of Ai in the field, in the wilderness, wherein they chased them, and when they were all fallen on the edge of the sword until they were consumed, that all the Israelites returned unto Ai and smote it with the edge of the sword. And as it was, that all that fell that day, both of men and women, were 12,000, even all the men of Ai.
So they didn't even have a huge army, and they got cooked. We had 30,000 men sitting behind. So I don't know how many people we had in front of us, but we had just enough to make it look like it was a real battle. And they said, we got 30,000 men over there. We're going to take our 10,000 or whatever we got right here, and we're going to rush them. We're going to retreat. So they killed all of the men, and they killed all of the women and children. Everybody got slaughtered, right? Because the Lord said, y'all got to get them out of here. They all wicked as hell, right? Excuse me. Let's drop. What are we at? That was 25. Let's drop down to Joshua chapter 9.
All right, Joshua chapter 9.
We're going to start at verse 3.
Verse 3. And when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard that Joshua had done unto Jericho and to Ai, they did work willingly and went and made as if they had been ambassadors and took old sacks upon their asses and wine bottles, old and rent and bound up.
So the Gibeonites, who were also Hivites, right? It was a specific city. The Gibeonites heard about what just happened in Ai. It got torched. We built an altar in there. We burnt up everything that was wicked in there. The Gibeonites heard about this. They said, yo, they just spanked Jericho and Gibeon. We got to think of something. Read.
And old shoes and clouded upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provisions was dry and moldly.
Read.
And they went to Joshua unto the camp of Gilgal, and said unto him, and to the men of Israel, we be come from a far country. Now therefore make ye a league with us.
So these dudes is literally probably next on the list to get cooked, right? And they said, hey, we gonna just pretend we came from Tyre and Zidon. We'll pretend we came from Lebanon. We gonna be like, hey, we came from far, far away, right? And they said, man, we heard about y'all. We want to make an allegiance with y'all. Like we are swearing our affinity to you. We want to work together. Joshua said, who's these cats? Right, read.
Verse 7. And the men of Israel said unto the Hivites, peradventure ye dwell among us, and how shall we make a league with you?
Said, unless you're dwelling with us, like, what do you mean? Why are we making a league with you? Who cares? Like, you don't even stay over here. Not like you said you're from a far country. Read.
And they said unto Joshua, we are thy servants.
Said, look, we'll serve you guys. Just come on, man. Like, come on, shake my hand.
Right, like, come on, let me
Deal. Joshua, just listen, bro. We want to serve you. We trying to help y'all. Look. Come on. Shake my hand. Shake it. Shake it. That's what they doing right now, right, Reed?
And Joshua said unto them, who are ye? And from whence come ye?
Uh-huh. He said, who the hell is y'all? Like, what? Read.
And they said unto him, from a very far country thy servants are come because of the name of the Lord thy God. For we have heard the fame of him and all that he did in Egypt.
Uh-huh. Let's drop down to verse 15.
Verse 15. And Joshua made peace with them and made a league with them to let them live. And the princes of the congregation swear to them.
So they was relentless. They said, Joshua, we want to serve you. We want to help you. Joshua, like, for what? Just let us do it. Why? Just trust us. We will serve you. Whatever you need, we got you. But we don't need you. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Look, just give us an audition. Give us a shot. Come on. Joshua's like, no, we don't need y'all. Yes, just come on. Joshua, look, we brought food, we brought victuals, we brought everything for you guys. Come on, man, come on. Joshua's like, man, all right. God damn. All right. Move, man, back up. All right, you good. Read.
God. And verse 16, and it came to pass at the end of 3 days after they made a league with them that they heard that they were their neighbors and that they dwelt among them.
He said, damn it. Oh, this is why y'all did that. 3 days later, Joshua finds out, these are the Gibeonites. But they didn't want to tell us that.
Right.
Now we done pulled up on them.
God.
It's like, ain't you?
They don't know.
Wasn't you just? Hey, you remember him? Yeah, bro, I remember him. Wasn't he just? Yeah. Ain't that old boy that was there 3 days ago begging to be a servant? It's like, yeah. He's like, what are you doing here? I think he live here. You live here? What? Read.
Verse 17, and the children of Israel journeyed and came unto their cities on the 3rd day. Now their cities were Gibeon and Shephirah and Beroth and Kirjath-jearim. Yo, I definitely butchered
Kirjath-jearim.
All right, well, there it is. And the children of Israel smote them not, because the princes of the congregation had sworn unto them by the Lord God of Israel. And all the congregation murmured against the princes.
Uh-huh.
But all the princes said unto all the congregation, we have sworn unto them by the Lord God of Israel. Now, therefore, we may not touch them.
Uh-huh.
This we will do to them. We will even let them live, lest wrath be upon us because of the oath which we swear unto them.
Uh-huh.
And the princes said unto them, let them live, but let them be hewers of wood and drawers of water in all the congregation, as the princes had promised them.
So they said, you know what? We're going to keep our deal. They lied to us. You know what? We said that they could serve us. So we're going to let them serve us. This is what they're going to do. This is everything they're going to do for us. They're going to draw the waters. They're going to cut our wood. We're going to find something for them to do. Read.
And the princes said unto them, let them live, but Salakia, this is verse 22. And Joshua called for them, and he spake unto them, saying, wherefore have ye beguiled us, saying, we are very far from you, when ye dwell among us?
He said, why y'all pull up and y'all lie to us? What was the purpose of that? What's up? What's up? Right, Reed?
Now therefore ye are cursed, and there shall none of you be free from being bondmen and hewers of wood and drawers of water.
He said you wanted to serve us, right? That's what you wanted?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Guess what? Y'all gonna stay servants. Y'all gonna stay bondmen, but you're not gonna be able to buy your freedom. You guys are going to be laborious slaves. Y'all gonna do all the hard stuff for us. And you wanted to be a bondman so bad. We will serve you guys. You know what? You lied to us. So we're gonna find all the hard things for you to do. Read.
And hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my power. And they answered Joshua and said, because it was certainly told thy servants how that the Lord thy God commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. Therefore, we were sore afraid of our lives because of you, and have done this thing. And now behold, we are in thy land, in Salakia. And now behold, we are in thy hand, as it seemeth good and right unto thee to do unto us, do.
So they were like, well, this is what happened, Joshua. Just like everybody in this land, we heard what, your little situation in Egypt. We heard about brother, he died. He the one that led y'all out. Then your God killed everybody and all of that good stuff. And we was like, we don't want them problems. So we were like, hey, we'll serve you. Now, if you feel like we lied, don't exactly agree, but whatever you feel we deserve, as long as you don't kill us, we'll do it. You want us? Is this what you're saying? Okay, cool. We'll do that. Read.
Verse 26. And so did he unto them, and delivered them out of the hand of the children of Israel, that they slew them not.
Right. Okay, so let's drop. Oh, sorry. One more verse. Read on.
Verse 27, and Joshua made them that day hewers of wood and drawers of water for the congregation, and for the altar of the Lord, even unto this day, in the place which he should choose.
Right. So they said, okay, we'll take on whatever it is that you wanted us to do. Right. Chapter 10. Let's start at verse 1. We're going to read down to 11, and then we're going to drop down.
Joshua chapter 10, verse 1. Now it came to pass when Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, had heard how Joshua had taken Ai. And
so now everybody done heard about this whole little situation. Adonizedek now heard about it. He said, man, that boy Joshua done smoked off Jericho. He done cooked off Ai. Like, oh, man, there's a lot going on. Right, Reed?
And had utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho and her king, so he had done to Ai and her king. And how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel and were among them.
So then he heard about the whole little situation, but they did get tricked over there. So go ahead, Reed.
That they feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city, as one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all the men thereof were mighty.
It said, wait a minute, Gibeon? Bow down and kiss the ring? Have y'all not heard of these cats? These men is warriors. And they out here acting soft as baby doo-doo. They out here soft as medicated cotton. They done bent over and kissed the ring. What? Gibeon? Wow. I can see how they got, AI got smoked. That was kind of a little village. They was warriors, but they wasn't like nothing big. But Jericho, AI. Now Gibeon just gave up. They didn't even fight. That's crazy. Read.
Wherefore, what is that again? Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, sent unto Hoham, king of Hebron, and unto Piram, king of
Jarmuth.
Jarmuth, and unto Japhiah, king of Lachish, and unto Deber, king of Eglon, saying, "Come
it's
up."
not my fault. Zion wanted me to go through Joshua. So we just gonna blame him. All right? That's what we gonna do.
God, come up into me and help me that we may smite Gibeon. For it hath made peace with Joshua and with the children of Israel.
So it said, you know what? We ain't gonna take on Israel, but we gonna go get Gibeon. One, because Gibeon had traded on us, and two, because we just not gonna fight Israel. They done beat up. It's looking rough out here in these streets. And ain't nobody really touching them right now. So we gonna kind of we just gonna go get them. Read.
Verse 5. Therefore the 5 kings of the Amorites and the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon, gathered themselves together and went up, they and all their hosts, and encamped before Gibeon and made war against it. And the men of Gibeon sent unto Joshua to the camp to Gilgal, saying, slack not thy hand from thy servants. Come up to us quickly and save us and help us. For all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us.
So he said, look, now we said we would serve y'all, and we done pissed some people off. We need your help, Joshua. Help us out. Come on, bro. You can't have slaves if they all dead. Come on, Josh. Look out for us, bruh. We had an agreement, right? Read on.
Verse 7. So Joshua ascended from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. And the Lord said unto Joshua, fear them not, for I have delivered them into thine hand.
So he said, man, don't worry about it. They finna get cooked. Read.
There shall not a man of them stand before thee. Joshua therefore came unto them suddenly and went up from Gilgal all night. And the Lord discomfited them before Israel and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way that goeth up to Beth Horn, and smote them to Ezekah and unto Makeda.
Right? So verse 11, my bad, read.
Verse 11. And it came to pass, as they fled from before Israel, and were in the going down to Bethhorn, that the Lord cast down great stones from heaven upon them that Askah, and they died.
It said, I don't know if this was hail or I don't know if this was a little meteorite rock. I don't know. But it said as they were sitting in that city, there was some stones and start taking everybody out. Read.
They were more died with hailstones than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword.
It said that the natural disaster took out more people than Israel had slain that day. Right? Drop down to verse 15. We're gonna read 15 through 18.
Verse 15. And Joshua returned, and all Israel with them, unto the camp to Gilgal. But these 5 kings fled and hid themselves in a cave at Makeda. And it was told Joshua, saying, the 5 kings are found hid in a cave at Makeda.
So 5 kings went to war. They wanted to fight against Gibeon. Joshua pulled up and said, nah, y'all ain't gonna beat up on my slaves like that. What's wrong with you? So they start beating up on these 5 kings and their kingdoms and their warriors, right? And they fled. Everybody got toasted except these kings. These kings got saved. They fled, right? And so they ran into this cave. And then Joshua's men said, hey, we saw all 5 of them that ran in that cave. We're not going in there. We can't see nothing. Joshua said, okay, watch what Joshua does. I don't know why. This is funny. This is very hilarious to me. Maybe it's just I'm cynical. I don't know. But this is like, to me, this was funny. Read.
Verse 18. And Joshua said, roll great stones upon the mouth of the cave, and set men by it, for it keepeth them. Salakia. Joshua said, roll great stones upon the mouth of the cave, and set men by it, for to keep them.
So this is what happened in my mind. Hey, Joshua. Yeah. The kings of those armies that we just beat up on, they all ran in there. Y'all want to go in there? Not really. Okay. Y'all see them big stones? Just roll them on the front of the cave. Forget it. We're just gonna lock them in there. Whatever. And I'm like, you just had like, we're just gonna, maybe we'll let them suffer and die. Maybe, maybe they'll starve. Maybe we'll pull them out eventually. I don't know. Whatever. Depends on how I feel. Like, what? To me, that was just some cold stuff. That was hilarious to me.
Want to hide? Okay.
You said what?
I said, hey, want to hide? Okay.
Yeah, right. Cool. We know it ain't no exit on the other side of this cave. Whatever. Let's drop down to that was verse 18.
Yeah, I was 18.
Yeah, let's drop down to 24.
All right, verse 24. And it came to pass when they brought out those kings unto Joshua, that Joshua called for all the men of Israel and said unto the captains of the men of war which went with him, come near, put your feet upon the necks of these kings. And they came near and put their feet upon the necks of them.
So they locked them in there. They said, y'all ready to come out? Yeah, we ready. We ready to come out. Y'all done running? Yeah, we done running. Said, all right, move them stones. And move the stones. They all came out and they threw them on the ground. They said, put your foot on their neck. Read.
And Joshua said unto them, fear not, nor be dismayed. Be strong and of good courage.
So he's telling his men this. He said, man, y'all ain't got to be scared of these clowns, these goofballs. Read.
For thus shall the Lord do to all your enemies against whom ye fight.
So he said, this is symbolic. He said, put your foot on their neck. He said, this is why we don't fear nothing. This is why we ain't worried, because the Lord always does this. At the end of the day, we always get to put our foot on their neck. We always get to apply that pressure, and they always fold, because
that's right.
That's just what the Most High does. So what we tripping for? Right? Read.
Verse 26, and afterward Joshua smote them and slew them and hanged them on 5 trees. And they were hanging upon the trees until the evening.
Let's drop. Nope, read on.
Verse 27, and it came to pass at the time of the going down of the sun that Joshua commanded, and they took them down off the trees and cast them into the cave wherein they had been hid, and laid great stones in the cave's mouth, which remain until this very day.
Read.
And that day Joshua took Makkedah and smote it with the edge of a sword, and the king of thereof he utterly destroyed them, and all the souls that were therein. He let none remain, and he did to the king of Makkedah as he did unto the king of Jericho.
He said this wasn't nothing new. Joshua did the same thing that he did with everybody else. He beat them. He beat them bad. He got rid of them, burnt up the city, and started to rebuild. Right? 29. Now, so he's conquered Jericho, he's conquered Ai, he's conquered Makkedah, and all these different areas of the 5 these 5 kings that were in these particular territories. Read.
Then Joshua passed from Makkedah and all Israel with them unto Libnah and fought against Libnah.
Now we finna smoke out Libnah and take this portion. Read.
And the Lord delivered it also, and the king thereof into the hand of Israel. And he smote it with the edge of the sword, and all the souls that were therein. He let none remain in it, but did unto the king thereof as he did unto the king of Jericho.
Verse 31. So now we done took over Libnah. Now, they told us 3 big stories. They said these was the ones that really mattered. Now we just going to kind of like summarize it. Like, we walked into Libnah, smoked them out. We walked into Lachish, smoked them out. Right, Reed?
And Joshua passed from Libnah and all Israel with them into Lachish, and encamped against it and fought against it. And the Lord delivered Lachish into the hand of Israel, which took it on the second day.
So we've war for 2 days, then we got the best of them and took their stuff. Read.
And smote it with the edge of the sword, and all the souls that were therein, according to all that he had done to Libnah. Then Horam, king of Gezer, came up to help Lachish.
So they said, no, you're not going to do our friends like that. You're not going to just beat on Lachish like that. So guess what? They wanted to come. Horam said, we got you, bro. Read.
And Joshua smote him and his people until he had left him none remaining.
So what, punk? You don't want to pull up too? All right. You want some too, old man? No. So they came to try to help out. They said, oh, maybe if we help them, we can overcome Israel. Joshua said, that's cute. That was real cute. Okay, this is what we'll do. Let's grab, hey, you 5,000 over here. Go finish that up. We almost done with Lachish. We'll go over here and show them that they should have stayed home. Right? Read on.
Verse 35. And they took it on that day and smote it with the edge of the sword. And all the souls that were therein, he utterly destroyed that day, according to all that he had done to Lachish.
So Lachish got beat on. Eglon got beat on. They done took over all these lands. Read.
And Joshua went up from Eglon and all Israel with him unto Hebron, and they fought against it. And they took it and smote it with the edge of the sword.
Hebron was next. Read.
And the king thereof, and all the cities thereof, and all the souls there were therein. He left none remaining, according to all that he had done to Eglon, but destroyed it utterly, and all the souls that were therein.
So everybody got cooked over there. And what was that, Hebron?
Yeah. Hebron.
Yep. They say he did it just like he did Eglon. Okay, verse 38.
Verse 38. And Joshua returned and all Israel with them to Debir.
Debir is next.
And fought against it. And he took it, and the king thereof, and all the cities thereof, and they smote them with the edge of the sword, and utterly destroyed all the souls that were therein. He left none remaining. As he had done to Hebron, so he did to Debir, and to the king of thereof, and to the king thereof, as he had done also to Libnah and her king.
So he said he's just going around doing the exact same thing to everyone. Read.
So Joshua smote all the country of the hills, and of the south, and of the vale, and of the springs, and all their kings. He left none remaining, but utterly destroyed all that breathed, as the Lord God of the Israel commanded. And Joshua smote them from Kadesh Barnea, even unto Gaza, and all the country of Goshen, even unto Gibeon.
So now they're giving you an idea of where this is where Joshua started. This is what he took over. This is what he took over. He took over all the way to over here. He hit up Gibeon. He hit up Goshen. He hit up now you talk about when he hit Eglon. These are like smaller cities and territories, right? Eglon, Lachish, Hebron, Debir, Libnah. All of them got caught. Kadesh Barnea, right? Read.
And all these kings and their land did Joshua take at one time, because the Lord God of Israel fought for Israel.
He said, and he beat all of them up at one time, because remember, those were the 5 kings, right? Those were the 5 that came out to try to fight against him, and he ended up killing all of them. He said he took over all of them at the same time. Read.
And Joshua returned, and all Israel with them, unto the camp to Gilgal. And chapter 11.
Chapter 11. Yeah, let's start at verse 1.
Verse 1. And it came to pass, when Jabin, king of Hazor.
Now Hazor
had heard those things, that he sent to Jobab, king of Madon, and to the king of Shimron, and to the king of Akshaf, and to the kings that were on the north of the mountains and of the plains south of Kinneroth, and in the valley and in the borders of Dor on the west, and to the Canaanite on the east, on the west, and to the Amorite, and to the Hittite. What is that?
To the Hittites. I got you. To the Perizzites, and the Jebusites, and the mountains, to the Hivites under Hermon, in the land of Mizpah. Verse 4.
And they went out, they and all their hosts with them, much people, even as they sand upon the seashore in multitude, with horses and chariots, very many.
So they coming out deep for war. Read.
And when all these kings were met together, they came and pitched together at the waters of Merom to fight against Israel.
So they said, oh, bet y'all gonna watch this. Watch this. Bet they didn't expect all of us. They said they was like the sand of the sea. They was deep. Said, cool, we're going to bring the whole hood with us. They thought it was big. They beat up on little AI, you feel me? They beat up on Gibeon. You know, they cooked off Libnah, and like, you know, they was taking over little cities at a time. How about we all come together? Right, read.
And the Lord said unto Joshua, be not afraid because of them, for tomorrow about this time will I deliver them up all slain before Israel.
The Lord told Joshua, come on, dog. You really think them numbers matter? Don't sweat it. Read.
thou shalt hold their horses and burn their chariots with fire. So Joshua came, and all the people of war with him against them by the waters of Merom suddenly, and they fell upon them. And the Lord delivered them in the hand of Israel, who smote them and chased them into great Zidon and into
Misrephoth-maim.
Misrephoth-maim, and into the valley of Mispheh eastward. And they smote them until they left them none remaining.
So it said they came out there that deep just to get a spanking. You brought your big brother and your daddy and your uncle, and they all still got beat up. He said that's a tough one. It's like, I beat you up, you go get your big brother. I beat him up, y'all go get your daddy and your uncles and your big cousins. And I beat all of them up by myself. It's like, dang. This is bad. He said, they jumping me. Each one of them got spanked. Right, read on.
Verse 9. And Joshua did it to them as the Lord bade him. He hewed their horses and burnt their chariots with fire. And Joshua at that time turned back and took Hazor and smote the king thereof with the sword. Mm-hmm. For Hazor before time was the head of all those kingdoms.
So he was the top dog at that time, but he had subordinates under him, but he was the top of that entire empire. And he said, we're going to kill him. That's the top man too. Read.
And they smote all the souls that were therein with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying them. There was not any left to breathe, and he burnt Hazor with fire.
Right. Let's drop down to verse 15.
Verse 15. As the Lord commanded Moses his servant, so did Moses commanded Joshua. And so did Joshua. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord commanded Moses. So Joshua took all that land, the hills, and all the south country, and all the land of Goshen, and the valley, and the plain, and the mountain of Israel. And the mountain of Israel, and the valley of the same. You want me to keep going? And verse 17. Even from the Mount Halak that goeth up to the Seir, even unto Baal-gad, in the valley of Lebanon, under Mount Hermon, all their kings he took and smote them and slew them.
Verse 18.
Verse 18. Joshua made war a long time with all those kings. There was not a city that made peace with the children of Israel, save the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. All other they took in battle.
So the Hivites were the only ones that were smart. They said, we heard about these cats. We good. Look, dog, we don't want them problems. What do? Look, we finna go over there and kiss the ring is what we finna do. We finna go over there and we gonna make a deal with these cats. However we need to make this deal, we gonna make this deal, but it's gonna be made, damn it. Ain't playing no games. Like, man, but what if they don't take it? They gonna take it. I promise you they gonna take it. But what if they don't? Listen to me. Under no circumstances can we walk out of there without them taking this deal. They out there smoking everybody, all right? And we ain't, nah. We gonna figure this out, all right? And we ain't walking out of there until they say they agree. They said everybody else got smitten, right? Let's drop down to verse 24. We're gonna read, no.
I will say, hold on.
This chapter, I'm sorry, this is 11. Let's read 20 to 23.
All right, this is Joshua chapter 11, verse 20. For it was of the Lord to harden their hearts, that they should come against Israel in battle, that he might destroy them utterly, and that they might have no favor, but that he might destroy them as the Lord commanded Moses.
So he said the Lord did that, kind of like what he did with Pharaoh. Pharaoh, he fed on Pharaoh's pride, and Pharaoh's pride got the best of him. Same thing with these other nations. These little mother lovers these were slaves. They were slaves in Egypt. We ain't mad, please. We ain't giving up to them. So there's the spirit, their heart got hardened, right? Read on.
Verse 21. And at that time came Joshua and cut off the Anakims from the mountains, from Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the mountains of Judah, and from all the mountains of Israel. Joshua destroyed them utterly with their cities. There was none of them Anakims left in the land of the children of Israel. Only in Gaza, in Gath, and in Ashdod there remained. So Joshua took the whole land according to all that the Lord said unto Moses, and Joshua gave it for an inheritance unto Israel according to their divisions by their tribes. And the land rested from war.
And we smoked everybody, and the land rested from war. We just beat the brakes off of everybody and their mamas and their big cousins and uncles and aunties and their best friends and their pet cows.
That part.
Everybody got beat on, no problem, right? Chapter 12 pretty much goes into all of the lands that were conquered, and that would be torture for somebody to read out loud. So I'm not going to do that to Yatzazar. But let's jump over. Let's jump over to Joshua 13, and I want to read 1 through 6.
It's the book of Joshua, chapter 13, verse 1. Now Joshua was old and stricken in years, and the Lord said unto him, Thou art old and stricken in years, and there remaineth yet very much land to be possessed. This is the land that yet remaineth, all the borders of the Philistines, and Geshuri from Saor, which is before Egypt, even into the borders of Ekron northward, which is counted to the Canaanite. 5 lords of the Philistines, the Gazathites,
Gazathites, yeah.
Gazathites, and the Ashdodites, the Ishkalonites, the Gideonites, and the Ekronites, also the Avites. From the south, that was 3. You want 4 too?
Read on.
Okay, come on. From the south, all the land of the Canaanites and Me'ara, that is beside the Sidonians and Aphek, to the borders of the Amorites. And the land of Gibeonites and all Lebanon toward the sun rising from Baal-gad under Mount Hermon unto the entering into Hamath. All the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon unto Misrephoth-Maim, and all the Sidonians, them will I drive out from before the children of Israel. Only divide thou it by lot unto the Israelites for an inheritance, as I have commanded thee.
Right? So, it said, Joshua was old now, and Joshua was like, I know I'm old. The Lord said, y'all still got a lot of land to conquer, though, but we never got around to it. He said, y'all still got a lot of land to conquer, right? We can't see it on the projector, huh? Angel, I'm going to need you to let me know when we're there. Take me to the PowerPoint real quick, Angel.
We're there.
God, okay. The TV's not on right here? Angel, do me a favor. Come turn on the TV right here so the people in here can see it too.
Con.
Let's see. Which one do we want to open up first? 38 or 39? Open up 38. Oh, right here. So now we're going to see, okay, let me see if I can blow it up for you guys. Oh, perfect, I can. Let's move this out of the way. Oh, crap. Wait. There we go. Okay. So it talked about all the places that still needed to be conquered, right? So it talked about Lebanon. Lebanon is all up here next to the Sidonians. So Tyre and Zidon, they're all up here. So Tyre, Zidon, all of this north area never actually got conquered, right? Talked about the Aphekites, which was the land of Aphek. Talked about, I think it said something about the Dorites. This is a part of Effect as well. The Ashkelonites, which is down here, all of the Philistine area. Gazaites, which is the Gaza Strip, or Gaza down this way, Gerar. So we never got to actually conquering this, right? So these were areas that we were supposed to conquer, but everything that is highlighted or red are the areas that we actually did get to. So let me back out of this one. It says it's going to let me escape. Has to. And then, oh, that's not cool. I got kicked out of Chrome. Ain't that something? Okay. And then here is the actual with the modern, with the older names. The other one had the modern day names. That was Lebanon and all of that. So these are all the areas that we took over: Succoth, Ramoth Gilead, Debon, Aroer. And so when you read chapter 13 on down, it starts telling you about who was distributed and where was their things distributed, and which lands were distributed into who. And you'll see like certain areas, okay, this was where Gad was given, and these were the cities of there that was conquered: Debon, Aroer, the land of Reuben. It talks about all of these areas pretty much shared the territory. So from Reuben and Gad, because this was Gad. Reuben had a little area in here. Manasseh was east and west. East and west Manasseh. They took over all of this up here. Judah was just down low. And you had Asher, Zebulun, all these little areas up here. I think there's Benjamin, little Benjamin right here in the cut. So we see these were all the areas. You can bring it back to us, Angel. Or Malachi Salakia. You can bring it back to us.
We're back.
So you can see these were the areas that were conquered. So when you read about the original promised land that was given to Abraham, it was much bigger. The original promised land ran basically from the Nile River, which was a portion of Egypt, all the way over to the Euphrates, which was further east, kind of like into Assyria, the Babylon, Babylon, the Neo-Babylonian area. Territory rather, but we never conquered all of that. But the Lord said that we still had things to conquer in this area, but we never got around to it. After Joshua died, we ran into the time of the judges. What happened in the time of the judges? Well, Israel couldn't stop going into captivity because they didn't have a leader and they wanted to start following the ways of the heathen. That's what happened, right? So we never got to fully conquer our land. But in short, I think that was pretty short. In short, that was Joshua and his conquest before they were able to rest, right? So that's pretty much the end of the lesson. And since it's the end of the lesson, as DARASH always does, I'm going to go on my spiel. Every first Monday of the month, we have Bible Q&A. So whatever questions that you have, history, breakdown doctrines, unless it's too long, then we have to create a whole lesson about it. Prophecy, other religions, and all whatever questions that you have regarding anything, bring it to us. Every first Wednesday, we do not profess to know everything, but the things that we do know, we will ensure that we give you the knowledge and information that we have. If we don't know, we'll let you know that we'll get back to you. Every Tuesday, Bible Basics. We have Bible, we just had it yesterday. So Bible Basics is the milk, the law, some things on character and virtue, maybe some basic doctrines for those just coming in. If you're new to the truth, definitely tune into those Tuesday classes, because those Tuesday classes is what's going to feed your soul before them Friday and Saturday classes, which is more so the meat. That's what everybody wants to get when they first come in, and this is where you get tripped up and confused. You got to learn the basics first. Learn the basics, tune into them Bible basic classes. Wednesday, World History According to the Bible. Every Wednesday, it's some historical breakdown. We usually go through the Bible and we hit time. We do it by time period. So right now we're in Joshua. Next is going to be Judges. Then we're going to hit the Kings. Then we're going to hit the the Assyrian captivity, Babylonian captivity, Persian captivity, the Hellenization period, time of Christ. Of course, we're going to be intermittently the history of certain religions, history of certain holidays, so on and so forth. But you're going to get all type of world history, right? According to the book, according to the Bible. So make sure you tune into these history classes, Bible basics, world history, Every second and fourth Thursday, we have what's called Stick to the Script. Stick to the Script we have in the classroom or Chopper City on the on the second Tuesday, which is essentially just a special class. We usually try to bring out a different lesson, something that hasn't been gone over in a while, whether it's cutting up a doctrine, a false doctrine, or just giving, something that was on our spirit. Whatever it was, this is what you're getting. And every Friday, room 144, usually led by Bishop Izar and probably going to be Bishop Banaya now. Room 144, open and Sabbath classes. Make sure y'all tune in. Because it's prophecy. It's you get a number of things there. You don't know what you're gonna get. You might get some milk, you might get some meat, you might get a mixture of the two. We don't know. But you know that it's gonna be good. And every Saturday, with the exception of this Saturday, by the way, because this Saturday it's closed to the public. It's closed to it's only for the members because it's the closing day of it's the last day of unleavened bread. So for the high holy days, we only deal with the members for various reasons. So Saturday evening this week, we will be shut down to the public. But every Saturday after that, we have Feed My Sheep, closing Sabbath class, Feed My Sheep by Bishop Tazayawan, led by Bishop Tazayawan, rather. And like I said, same thing. You can get some milk, you get some meat, you get a mixture of the two. You might get some counsel. I don't know, but it's going to be fire, right? Saturday is one of them classes is going to be fire. So you make sure that you want to tap into that. You make sure that you want to tune into that. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow all of our pages, watch our videos, share our videos, because we do this for you guys. We're trying to feed your spirit. We're trying to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. This is for you all. This is to help strengthen your faith. This is to help build your belief. This is to help build you up, right? So this is what we do it for. So you guys make sure that you're tuning in, making sure that you lock in. And with that being said, this was another episode, or another class, rather, of World History Wednesday, according to the Bible. I'm Brother DARASH. This is Brother Yatazar, and we signing out. Shalom.